island of Sodor is home to the Northwestern Railway, with engines of all shapes and sizes, working hard to deliver goods and passengers to their destinations. There are lines that run along the coast of the island serving the docks, the fishing villages, and the seaside towns. There are branch lines that run to the farms, and the quarries, and the ancient castles of the island's heartland. And then there is the Mainland, which runs all the way from Knapford on the west coast of the island to Vickerstown in the east, and continues over the Vickerstown Bridge, where it connects to the mainland and beyond.
It was New Year's Day on the island of Sodor, and the engines worked hard to keep the railway running smoothly, despite the harsh weather. At Tidmouth Sheds, the ground was covered in snow, and the windows were frosted. Gordon, Henry, and the other engines were seen preparing for their daily duties. "Look at me! I'm pulling the express today, and there's nothing quite like it. It's the most important train on the island," Gordon said proudly. "That's true, Gordon, but the Flying Kipper is important too. It helps bring the fresh fish to market every day so people can have fish for their meals." Gordon smirked. "Ah, the Kipper. Such a smelly, dirty train. I'm glad I don't have to pull it. Only an engine like you could enjoy such a job, Henry." Henry responded patiently. "The Kipper may not be glamorous, but it's essential work. I don't mind the cold. It makes me feel fresh and alive, and I know I'm doing something important for the people of Sodor." Gordon just snorted dismissively and puffed away to take his express train. He was eager to leave the cold behind and get on with his more prestigious duties. Gordon pulled the express train through the snowy landscape, his wheels moving smoothly over the tracks. The next morning, the Fat Controller had a surprise for Gordon. He walked to the sheds with a serious look on his face. "Gordon, the Vickerstown rolling bridge has frozen, and Henry is stuck on the mainland. He won't be able to pull the Flying Kipper tonight. You'll have to take it for him," the Fat Controller said. "Me? Pull the Kipper? But, sir, I'm an express engine, not a goods engine. This is beneath me," Gordon said indignantly. "Tonight, you're a goods engine, Gordon. The Kipper must be delivered on time. The market needs fish, and it's your responsibility to see it gets there," the Fat Controller said firmly. Gordon grumbled, but there was nothing he could do. The Fat Controller's orders were final, and he found himself coupled to a long line of fish fans. "This is ridiculous. I'm too important for this sort of work. Why should I have to pull such a smelly, dirty train?" Gordon muttered. As evening fell, Gordon set off with the Kipper. The night was clear but cold, and the tracks were covered in a thin layer of frost. The stars twinkled in the sky, casting a cold but beautiful light over the snow landscape. First, Gordon tried to ignore the smell of fish and the discomfort of the cold. He focused on the task in hand, determined to show everyone how he could handle the Kipper just as well as Henry. "I'll show them. I'll get this Kipper to market in record time," Gordon puffed. The journey started smoothly. Gordon made good time along the line and began to feel a bit more confident. However, as he approached Gordon's hill, he started to struggle. "Come on, we can do this. Just a little more," Gordon strained. As Gordon reached the top of the hill, he was relieved, but the weight of the heavy train began to push him forward on the icy tracks. "Oh no, the weight of the train is too much!" Gordon panicked. The train rushed down the hill, gaining speed as it hurtled towards Marin. Gordon desperately tried to apply his brakes, but the icy rails made them almost useless. Gordon's wheels slipped and skid on the icy tracks, but as he was diverted into a siding, he went straight through the buffers. The train crashed and came to a sudden stop in a deep snowbank. Oh no, this is a disaster, Gordon cried out. The next morning, the Fat Controller and Henry arrived to inspect the damage. Henry, who had just arrived from the mainland, was sent to see if he could help. Gordon, I'm very disappointed in you. You should have been more careful with such a heavy tread on these icy tracks, the Fat Controller said disappointedly. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't realize how difficult the Kipper could be. I thought it would be an easy task, Gordon said sheepishly. It's all right, Gordon. The Kipper is tricky, especially in winter. I had to learn that lesson myself, but you'll get the hang of it with practice, Henry said sympathetically. With Henry's help, the fish vans were carefully removed from the snowbank, and Gordon was pulled back onto the tracks. He was taken to the works for repairs and to warm up. That evening, as Gordon rested at the works, he looked over at Henry. I'm sorry for teasing you, Henry. I didn't understand how hard the Kipper job really is. I have a new appreciation for the work you do, Gordon said sincerely. No harm done, Gordon. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Just remember, every job on the railway is important, whether it's the express or Kipper, Henry said, smiling. Gordon took Henry's words to heart and had learned a valuable lesson about respecting all kinds of work, no matter how unglamorous they might seem. From that day on, Gordon never complained about the Kipper again. He understood that every job on the railway was crucial to keeping the island running smoothly.